On Monday, she takes a walk with Johnny. On Tuesday, she has a talk with Jim. On Wednesday, she likes to dance with Tommy.
The biggest surprise about the oldest profession in the world is how much we really know, or rather don't know about it. I mean, we know what we've seen in movies and TV, books and stuff, and obviously we know that there's action in the pants department involved. But I've always thought of it as being a bit like the French Revolution, in that it probably feels really different if you were there. So, unless you've partaken in the act of paying someone to fumble around with your sensitive places, chances are you know as much about it as I do, as in fairly little. I'm Lynn Ferguson, and when I don't know about stuff, I ask a friend. Now, fortunately, one of my friends is Sephe Haven, actress, writer, and at one time the #1 escort in the US, who kept notes of all her clients' likes and habits on index cards that she stored in a box. Anyway, we decided to do this podcast, and in each episode, Sephe will pull a card from the box, and together we'll attempt to uncover the story around the lives of each person she dallied with. Welcome to My Index to Sex.
On Thursday, she takes a chance with Tim.
How are you? So, have you got the box of mystery of
I
your
do,
index
and
to sex?
I do, and I had a good pull out today.
Oh, you did?
I didn't.
I think we all need a good pull out now and again.
Pull out today. Nobody's good at their pull out game. They always say they're good at their pull out. No man is good at a pull out game. So I could pull out. No, you can't. I have magnet eggs. So anyway,
I wonder sometimes that people who trust other people who say that they are going to definitely pull out are like the same people who give money to African princes. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you just go, like, I like the idea that I could help you. I like the idea that this is how this is going to work. But both you and I know it isn't really going to work that way. Right?
that's right. Your penis is from Nigeria. No.
So who's in the box? Who's in the
Okay,
box?
so this one I really like because I didn't expect this and I had totally forgotten about him and he was wonderful. But also, I'm not sure that episode's about him as much as it's about another person who came into the situation, but we can try. So it begins with a K.
Keith.
And well, it has to rhyme. The last name rhymes with the first name. So it would be like Kelly Belly or something, something like that.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, his first name rhymes with his last name.
Oh, it does.
Mhm.
Keith from Monteith.
Okay, good.
Keith from Monteith.
That's who it is.
Oh, no, Keith with the teeth. Keith with the teeth. Right, that works. Did he have teeth?
He did
Is
have
that-
teeth.
Do you know, have you ever had someone who didn't have teeth?
Well, I had someone whose teeth fell out.
In the thing?
Well, during the session, yes, his teeth fell
No way.
on purpose. I mean, not
No. Well,
that's
that's not a sexy thing, is it? You go, oh, lady, look at me in my leather trousers. Oh, just watch me while I take my teeth out. No, was it like all his teeth or just one tooth? Or
he had like a bridge that was built around teeth. So like when it fell out, there were some teeth, some not teeth.
oh, hello. And
Yeah.
what did he do? Did he carry on like regardless? Or
I tried to pretend like I didn't see that the teeth fell out because I didn't think, I didn't, how if you're with somebody and all of a sudden they have something terrible happen to them
yeah.
and they'll always remember that you were with them. I just was like, I don't want to be the person that was there when your teeth fell out. So we're just going to ignore it. So I ignored it and carried on. And then later I just scooted off to the bathroom and gave him a chance to collect his teeth without me
So
thinking.
they all did they come off in a lump then?
Well,
Is that how
it was a big bridge, that was built for like a denture thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I know this is just being pedantic, but on it, just for, because I'm thinking for myself, but also for anyone listening to this, trying to picture a man in his boxer shorts and half his teeth. What proportion of teeth would you say were real to denture? Like, did he have one tooth left, or did he have, like, say, several How many teeth?
Several left, but I would say the whole top band had here and there teeth.
Right,
Here and there teeth, yeah. I never knew that, but I was very young when this happened, so I didn't know that happened. When you picture denture, if you picture the joke of them, this whole mouthful that comes in and they're sitting in this jar on the bed. So, but that's not actually what it was. It was just a bridge that was built with teeth here and there. So yeah, here and there teeth.
Here and there. It's also not a thing that they give you in girly magazines.
No.
Like in girly magazines, but certainly in the 70s and 80s, which is things like how do you kiss? Does your nose get in the way when you kiss and all that? But there was nothing there about, during the whole thing, just be careful you keep your teeth in. There was none of it.
There was a bit about braces because we were younger when we read those.
Yeah, but in Scotland we never had braces. We just had squinty teeth. There was none of that. There was none of that saving stuff.
What is squinty teeth?
Squinty teeth, when your teeth don't fall. Like, the thing with Americans, I think, is you can tell when they're American as soon as they smile because their teeth are all like, hi, I just turned up now, but I've been in a toothpaste ad and here I am, right? Whereas, like, British people, they've got character teeth, right? Like, their teeth aren't necessarily all... I mean, it's probably changed now because Britain's so Americanized. Hey, you know what I am thinking? I think we probably should talk about sex, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, so this guy, Keith...
Get up this.
Keith with the teeth, right?
Okay.
He's not the guy with the brace.
He's not the guy. Okay. Well, I'm going to read the card, but also I'm going to tell you about him a little bit.
Yeah.
So I wrote, this was the first time I saw him. And so, but on the back of the card, it looks like I've seen him about 20-something times because I remember him very well. And something happened in the middle of those 20-something. So I'll tell you about that too. So the first thing is I wrote, he's very good looking.
Oh.
Got a soft, nice touch. He takes a long time, but I came. And what that means is a miracle because I never relaxed that much to have that happen. So he obviously became a very favorite person. I'm like, oh, this is a surprise. He likes pampering, which I think I told you before. I used to do this whole pampering routine. So I liked when people did it because it was like they learned their lines and just went with the play and didn't go against the grain. Oh, and then he likes butt stuff, B-U-T-T.
Oh, what does that mean?
That means there's a lot of room for playing in the backyard on him.
Oh.
And he likes to have his nipples bit hard.
Oh.
Yes. So
these are all things that I'm quite unexpected. Do you know, I feel like right now, like I did when I was 12 and I was reading a magazine called The Jackie or Cosmopolitan, where I'm like, people do what? That's what?
I mean, it's not that unusual, I suppose, but it's specificer.
Yeah.
And so I wrote, he's married. He had 2 houses, one in one place in New York and one in an upstate place.
One for his teeth. Right?
Yes. He said he travels a lot. He was an ex-football player, 6'4", 200 pounds, nice body, soft lips, tips, great in bed. He's an Aquarius, but here's the thing.
What's that?
He had this wonderful wife that he was talking about. She was an Aries. She has...
Oh, I'm an Aries. We're dangerous.
Well, they have 2 kids, and here's what happened.
What?
So I really enjoyed seeing this man, obviously. Yeah. And part way through, he said to me, my wife and I are going to have a babysitter, and I want to bring her into the city, and we would like to have a threesome.
Huh?
And so I said,
are you the babysitter? And
no, I'm not the babysitter.
No. Oh, you and him and the wife?
Yeah.
No way. And
So
what
then-
did you say? Did you say, and do you charge double for that? Because that's technically 2 people.
Well, it's definitely a little extra work. Yeah. So I didn't charge, but I had like a basic minimum time. So instead of 2 hours, it had to be 3 because it takes a little while for the woman to go, oh, okay, I'll do this. But also I said, does he know who I am? Because that would be odd. She said, no, you'd have to pretend like we just found you out of the Escort website, and I'm going to show her your website and say, what about this one? And then we'll invite you. And so they ended up staying in this very nice hotel.
Yeah.
And I got to meet his wife, who I had heard about all this time. And she was just so wonderful. She was sort of really smart. She had short hair and glasses, and you could tell she was kind of in IT,
Right.
Just as a whip smart kind of gal, and used to being a mom and kind of soccer mommy,
Yeah.
And we sat down and started to have a wonderful conversation. Anyways, we all ended up in the bed, and I had to be specifically careful
Yeah.
to not
Not bite on the nipples. Not know that.
yeah, and also to make sure that all the attention is focused on her, so that at the end he's finishes everything with her and not me,
Right.
because that would make his wife upset, I think. So I mean,
these are things, I have to say, Sephe, these are things that it's why it's important to talk, because these are things that I'd never even thought about, the whole sort of the kind of delicacies of a threesome. I had no idea.
and spicing up a marriage a little bit, and so when he went his way to the bathroom, she would talk to me, and it was kind of so. Here's actually what the story's about, though. So I've gotten there yet. So at a certain point, she started to like this kind of, we get off into the city. This other girl is really nice with my body. I get touched in a different way than my husband touches me, because she's been faithful, most likely.
Right.
And the only person that's been touching her has been her husband, and he's wonderful. But, it's nice to have variety, and she's with me, so it's safe. And I'm lovely at pampering people. I'd like to think. I don't know. People are probably going to write in and go, she was horrible.
And you know what, sweetie? I think if people write in, that is not the first thing that's going to be coming to their mind.
And she's still stuck on herself. Anyway, so at one point, though, it became like a regular once a month kind of thing. And then she said, do you know any guy escorts?
Oh.
Well, so no, because I did eventually. But so she wanted to have some fun too, with somebody. And I didn't have anybody at that time, but I was thinking about it. I thought, oh, God, well, maybe I could get one of my other clients to come with me. And because my clients would say to me things all the time, they'd say, oh, you have the best job ever. You just labor hard and have sex and get paid. I'm like, yeah, it's easy as that. It's my dream come true. I love it. Thank you, Juliad. And so one guy who said this all the time to me, how hard can it be? I'm like, oh, let's see how hard it can be. And so I told him, now we need to name him. His real name is John, but but so we can just call him John.
We could just call him John, because, he's a John. Well, a John being a John.
Yeah, John being a John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a John being a John. I think also Keith the Teeth and John sounds good for me. I kind of like that.
So the whole time leading up to it, he's like, what do we do? I said, it's going to be great. You're going to go in, you get to sleep with this woman. He said, how old is she? I said, she's like 38, 42. She's young. She's gorgeous, it'll be great. So the day before, he must have called me on my machine like 7 times. And he's like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. And I'm like, listen, this is work. This is my clients. You're messing with my business. I'm professional. This is unprofessional of you. And she's like, I don't know if I want to be a professional. I'm like, you're going to be a professional. You're crossing the line. Those teeth in parking lots, the steel.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
You're going over, and if you back up, your tires will be puncturing. You're doing
and I
it.
will be puncturing them personally.
So he gets excited, and he's not. Anyways, he shows up the next day just in time for us to leave, and he's just shaking. And this is a man who the whole time was saying to me, this is so easy, anybody can do it, just lay around, and blah, 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 what kind of a job is that? And I'm like, oh. So he's dressed nice, he's dressed like I told him to dress, and we're leaving it's a very nice hotel. It was the Pierre, which is a gorgeous hotel in Manhattan. And we get to this 5-star hotel, and he's just shaking, and we ring the doorbell, and he says to me, I think I'm going to throw up. Don't
Not sexy. That's not sexy.
when he was with me as a client, he was very talkative and very social, which is why I thought he was good looking, very talkative, very social, and I thought he'd be great.
Yeah.
Suddenly he can't talk and he's going to throw up.
Yeah.
And we're in that room and I'm sit him down and finally he says, I need to go to the bathroom. So I said, okay, go ahead. He said, no, can you come with me? I was like, we're not two girlfriends. This is so crazy. So in the bathroom, he says, I can't do this. I don't know what's going to happen if I can't get hard. So I said, well, I'll help you. So we got him hard. He was less than stellar in this performance. So we kind of eventually sat him on the sidelines. But it was very interesting to watch another woman having sex with someone who wasn't her husband.
Yeah.
It was just this very unusual voyeuristic moment for me. And I noticed that when she was on her back and when she had her legs in the air, her feet were like really flat, like not, they weren't pointed, they were flexed. So it kind of looked like, like a kind of a weird
duck or something.
Yeah. And I was like, I've never thought about my feet. I know I'm going to be conscious of my feet. I wonder what my feet do when I'm doing this, like I never once thought to look at my own feet and think, are you a duck right now or are you a ballet dancer?
See, everybody now is going to be thinking about what their feet do.
I know, but
did you have a moment of sort of pride there though, when you saw it all going on and it was happening for her and it was happening for him, where you were like, oh, like, did you feel sort of like, that it was a badge of merit moment? Did you feel
not right then, but I did feel a little bit of happy revenge about John because I shut him up for all those years of saying, it's a stupid job, anybody can do it, you make too much money, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he makes a ton of money, but God forbid that I do. So anyway, so that was him. I felt pride later because eventually I did meet a guy who became my partner. He was a guy who could be an escort. He was straight.
Right.
Which was good. So it wasn't a gay man pretending to be straight, so I wanted
to. That a thing? Is that
I think a lot of women were afraid to ask for an escort as a man because they didn't necessarily want a gay man. Not that he wasn't beautiful and wonderful, but they wanted to have sex with a straight man. And this guy was really great. And his penis was way too big for me. So I was always, but other women loved it. They were like, I've had 7 kids. Get in here. It became a wonderful partner. And then I did feel what you felt. There were times where I was obviously with a couple that was very happy to be opening up their marriage in this safe but secret way. Mm-hmm. And they were going home together and happy and in love, and nothing had destroyed the bond or the intimacy that they felt. And in fact, this was just an enlivenment. And, I would feel like we did something good, because marriage can be a long time and people love each other, but they're like, God, I've seen you naked for 50 years.
It's like a 2-piece jigsaw that you keep putting together.
That's right.
So what I want to know though, because what's in my mind here, Sephe, is I'm like, I want to know the story of Keith the Teeth. And what did we decide what his wife was called?
What would we like to call her?
Well, she should rhyme, right? Keith the Teeth and
Bernice.
Bernice. Like she's got a speech impediment. Bernice, right?
Keith and Bernice.
Well, Keith and Bernice. What happened in their marriage? Did you see them a lot? Did you go back to seeing Keith the Teeth on his own?
Yeah, I saw him on his own as well, but I wasn't to make any. He didn't want her to know that he also saw me on his own.
Did she ever know that he'd seen you before, or did she always?
No, we were really good about acting like new strangers, or new acquaintances with each other. So she was a sweetheart. I really liked her. And it was, I saw him on his own in my apartment in Manhattan. He worked for an investment banking firm. So in those days, this was the days of, greed and
money, loads of money, all that.
Yeah. And they practically lived at their office there. They had long hours and they, supported their families really well. So it's kind of known that the men left very early in the morning and didn't come home till at 10 at night sometimes. and I'd usually get the lunch shift.
And what about Bernice? Did you ever see Bernice on her own, or did you meet for coffee or anything afterwards, or did she have a lovely relationship with a man with a big penis? What happened there?
Well, yeah, no, we never met separately.
Yeah.
But they did have times where they invited myself and the other guy, my partner, out to dinners. So we would go to these wonderful 5-star restaurant dinners and have a great meal and so forth, and not go back to the room afterwards. It's just
No, really? They were like friends with you. There was a relationship.
It really was. That's why when I pulled his card this morning, I thought, oh my God, I totally forgot about him. And it's such a complex relationship with the other guy coming in between, and the whole thing like that. Not coming in between, but coming in between. Yeah.
And also, I suppose, just to tidy up the story, what happened to John?
So he just went back to being my client.
Being a John.
Yeah. And he never said he never got all heightsy-tightsy again about, your job's not easy, blah, blah, blah. And, and that's it.
I do love a happy ending. And I've just thought about what that actually means.
Everybody in this story had a happy ending.
She's the sweetheart of 6 other guys.
You have been listening to My Index to Sex, produced by Fertile LLC. The music was performed by Chesney Hawkes, and you can learn more about Sephe Haven at sephehaven.com. Go to mitspodcast.com to check out the show notes for more details, including how to stay in touch, give feedback, and ask questions. All the best.
Sunday's my only time with that bozo of mine, 'cause she's the sweetheart of 6 other guys.